Yeah, well, really, where to start? There were numerous scandals and incidents that happened that really impacted Boris Johnson's relationship with the public, but also with his own party. We, of course, had the Partygate scandal throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, where there were adjudged to have been government parties held within government buildings at a time where people were legally not allowed to gather within each other's homes. So there was that. And then most recently, we've seen this issue concerning a Conservative MP called Chris Pincher, who was the Deputy Chief Whip. Now, earlier last week, he was alleged to have groped two men at a Conservative private club. And there were really questions over why he was put forward for that role in the first place, because back in 2017 there were allegations of similar incidents taking place where he was alleged to have sexually assaulted people within the party. And it was said at the time there were questions over what Boris Johnson knew about these allegations. At first, he said he didn't know about any specific allegations dating back to 2017 concerning Mr. Pincher, but then he said he was reminded of a conversation he'd had, and then he said he remembered that he had been told, and that he'd essentially made a mistake to appoint Chris Pincher to the role of Deputy Chief Whip. All of these things have really led to the moment where we're at now. He's resigned from his role as Prime Minister and has lost the confidence of his party. We saw around about 50 MPs and cabinet ministers resign from their roles over the past few days or so. That has built up a huge amount of pressure, and the pressure has just become too much for Boris Johnson to hold on to his role.
So what is the latest then as far as this process there outside Westminster? I believe the Deputy Prime Minister will not stand to be announced as the next Prime Minister. What is the process likely to be followed?
So what we're seeing now is Boris Johnson has resigned, but he will stay on as caretaker Prime Minister until autumn. That means that he will keep his position until the Conservative Party elect a new leader. That will take place at a Conservative Party meeting in autumn. But we might not even get to that point, because there are many people who don't even think that he should remain as caretaker. Some people don't even want to see him in that role. For example, John Major, who's a former Conservative Prime Minister, he said that it's not within the UK's best interest for Boris Johnson to stay on as caretaker. So he might still be removed. But for that to happen, there would have to be another vote of confidence. And that will take some changing of legislation, because we saw a vote of confidence a few weeks ago. Boris Johnson, of course, won that, but just 41% of his party said that they didn't have any trust or confidence in him, in his leadership anymore. But he scrapes through. Because he won that, the rules really dictate that he can't be then challenged again with a vote of confidence for a year. But we're hearing from the leader of the Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer, that Labour may really campaign for another vote of confidence if Boris Johnson stays on as caretaker Prime Minister. So there's a lot that's still up in the air and a lot that needs to be decided.
News.
Experts.
Analysis.
Where things stand.
What you need to know. Drive home with John Perlman
On 702.